Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
I understand when all the hype and headlines and articles and videos and questions come in on a first-round pick. I understand that. And Ricky Pearsall is more than deserving of that, and he's going to have his own episode. But I would argue that there is a very disappropriate amount of coverage for Ricky Pearsall and not Jacob Cowing. I think that this kid, the more you watch him, the more you love him. The more you listen to him talk, read what the coaches have said about him, look at stat lines, understand who he is. It's just, I don't know. It's exponential growth. For somebody that's really small, he's a 5'8", 171 guy, little bitty wide receiver. But whenever I say, like, the excitement level should be really, really high. You know how everybody falls in love with Kyle Shanahan's undrafted free agent running back? I'm just like, man, I really, really wish this was a guy that more fans would get behind. Now, is that going to be this year? Probably not. You kept every single wide receiver ever, including Ayuk, who's now requesting a trade. But, man, I really, really like this guy, and he's just an easy one to root for. Jacob Cowing comes in number 41 on our roster countdown. Rookie wide receiver drafted in the 4th round. His highest was ranked 40, his lowest 45. And shout out to Josh, who was the producer of this episode. And I forgot to mention Dave was the executive producer of our last episode, and I apologize for that one, but want to give him his dues as well. Jacob Cowing is going to be wearing jersey number 83. Big number on a little guy. 5'8", 171, 29.25-inch arms. Tiny frame, 23 years old. But, man, can he move. Mighty Mouse. The whole time I watch him, I'm just like, woo. 4.3840. He's a blazer. And it's top 88 percentile of wide receivers. 1.54 10-yard split. 7.023 cone. Decent. Not great for somebody that's 5'8", 171, to be honest with you. 36-inch vertical, 9'11 broad jump. My athletic comp for him is Tutu Atwell. The play style comp, Greg Dortch. You know, you ask Jacob Cowing who he... what he looks like, he's going to say the 3 players he mentioned were Tyler Lockett, Tank Dell, Zay Flowers. If I could have any of those guys, I'm taking Tank Dell. Then I'm taking Zay Flowers, then Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett's one of the most underappreciated route runners in the NFL over the past decade, but he's just allergic to contact and does the feigning goat thing where he just falls over as soon as he gets it. He doesn't even get tagged in tag. He falls down on his own. But those are the type of wide receivers that Jacob Cowing is. Even Lucy, my French Bulldog's excited about Jacob Cowing. And Shanahan has wanted this kind of Santana Moss, Marquise Goodwin. You can go all throughout the Shanahan regimes. This guy to just take the top off from a slot position, can play outside, can play in the slot, can return, can do all those things. That's Jacob Cowing. Arizona kid, went to Maricopa High School, was a 2-star recruit, and went to UTEP for 3 years, then transferred to Arizona to be closer to his son. He did have a kid at a very young age, named his kid Chase. There were some stories out there about, he named his kid after Chase Lucas, who's now a 49ers teammate. And, Cowing kind of dispelled those rumors. But, he became a father at 18, and family's important to him, and that's huge. It's those types of things. Kyle Shanahan even talked about they had an official visit with him before the draft, and afterwards Jacob Cowing wrote the 49ers a thank you letter for the interview. And Shanahan and John Lynch both brought it up in the post-draft presser. It's just like, this kid is raised right, correctly. And it just comes across. So whenever you listen to him talk, I'll play a clip in a second. Kid's smart. Kid's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got confidence. He's got whatever it is that just like, yeah, I believe in this dude. I don't know. Charisma, call it whatever you want. The Riz, I can't believe I said that. My son's going to love this episode. He doesn't listen, but I'm going to tell him I said it. Jacob Cowing's got it. Small stature, big personality, and just big on the field. This dude played 5 years, never missed a game at wide receiver. And so whenever you hear 5'8", 171 wide receiver, oh, that's tiny. Can he stay healthy? Dude's never missed a game. Yeah, he's played through some injuries, played through some bumps and bruises. Yeah, he sat out for a series or two, but this dude is tough as hell. That's all that you can say. Now, track speed, 10.7 in the 100-meter dash, check. 21.6 in the 200, that's probably the most impressive time there. Finished second and third in the state. He's productive but tiny. He's Mighty Mouse. He caught a pass in 57 consecutive games. Second longest streak in NCAA history. That's crazy. 57 consecutive games. Never missed a game in 5 years. Listen to these accolades. All-Conference USA second team. Then he transfers, right? All Pac-12 honorable mention. Alamo Bowl offensive MVP. All-Conference USA second team. Commissioner's academic honor roll. Prides himself on hard work. Even worked out with Ricky Pearsall in the offseason after they got drafted and played Pop Warner against him growing up. Like, how cool is that? Admits he's ready for the challenge Kyle Shanahan's going to bring him. Now, I want to go to, this is the clip. This is Jacob Cowing's first interview during OTAs and rookie minicamp. Whenever he was asked about the playbook and how he's feeling about grasping the 49ers playbook.
I'm going to be honest, coming from U of A, with Coach Fish and his NFL background, it's very similar how he threw the playbook at me when I first got there. Very similar how they threw the playbook at me here. So nothing new to me. So it was kind of easy for me to kind of pick it up. I had, special things that I like to do to memorize things and stuff like that. So for me to memorize the playbook, it was kind of easy for me to get down with it.
Now, he's the only wide receiver in NCAA the past 2 years to have 85 or more catches in back-to-back years. Nobody else has done that. Productive, consistent, explosive, all those things he has. Now, doesn't mean he's the best prospect ever. Went in the 4th round. He's got 35 dropped passes in his career. Huge negative. Shanahan, for some reason, just I don't know. I'm sure there are some teams that they see drop passes and they chunk those wide receivers off the board. Shanahan has never done that. Ever. Cameron Latu, say hi. That's something that's got to be worked on. It took Debo 4 years. Debo led the NFL in drop passes, I think, twice. Tied once. Was the worst once. Juwan Jennings was bad. Debo took a huge step up outside of the Super Bowl this year, but it can be worked on. It can be coached, and I think that's there. Now, he said, quote, growing up and always playing football, the 49ers were always one of my dream teams when watching the NFL. This is kind of a full circuit moment, fulfilling my dreams, being picked by one of my dream teams. Now at this point, I'm just ready to work. I love that. Work, work, work. You hear it all the time. He says, as a kid, looked up to Jerry Rice. Over the past few years, modeled this game after Debo and Ayuk. I don't know if he's just saying the right things, but it's getting me excited. Understanding what the environment is and the expectation of the place that he is going. That's awesome. That's great. Special teams, he's got the upside. Kick returner, averaged 5.7 yards per returner last year. PFF grades all across the board. 73.2 overall, good. 77.2 receiving, good. 6.3% drop rate, not great. 35.7 contested catch rate, not great. It's better than Ronnie Bell's, but but that's the thing. Does this guy have a lot of contested catches? He does not. It's pretty hard to catch this dude. He's shifty. 75.6 versus man coverage, pretty good. 68.7 run blocking. Now, and this was something in my tape. Now, if you want to go watch them, we already have breakdowns up on the 49ersrush.com on our Patreon page. You see the all 22 breakdowns. And I'm telling you, do not watch those unless you want to be a Jacob Cowing fan. Because you're going to turn the tape on and you're going to be like, all right, okay. And before you know it, you're going to be scrubbing the dishes too hard because you're all pumped up. Trust me, I went through this. He's just a good stinking player. 131 slot snaps, 138 out wide. He's small, and in the old NFL, he would have been a slot only. That's not a thing anymore. Tank Dell, in this exact same offensive system, lit it up last year. Yeah, he was in the slot some, but not all the time. And now that you've seen that, Jacob Cowing will be our Tank Dell. Is he Tank Dell? I don't think so. But could he still have a huge impact? I do think so. Drafted the 4th round, number 135 overall. Again, let me just, this was my draft evaluation pre-draft, before we drafted him. Cuts on a dime. Could be a slot-only player, but his speed and release can play outside of today's NFL. I'm having conversations with my past and current self at the same time. Tough gadget, returner at worst, screen hitches, quick outs is all that he ran at Arizona, but can run the full route tree. This dude's a route technician. You just have to be okay with his size. Insane career production. 33 touchdowns, 39 collegiate starts. It just tough, mighty mouse, productive, just feisty. Like, these words just keep ringing the more that you watch this guy. His field vision are awesome. You see him after the catch, and a lot of it's a matter of self-preservation. When you're this small, you catch that ball, your head better be on a swivel, and he can see where to go. He's really, really good at that. Natural talent, great versus zone coverage, leverages his routes with the best of them. Consistently moving the chains. Limited size, I get that. That's going to constantly show up. He's tiny, tiny. You put this dude next to Ricky Pearsall, and you're just like, ooh, Pearsall, big dude. Debo's thick. Ayuk's kind of long. Jacob Cowing's tiny. He's smaller than Trent Taylor, and Trent Taylor's small. So the way I rated his 1-2-9, route running was a 9. Footwork is a 9. Hands 6. The drops are an issue. Acceleration's a 9. Run after the catch is a 6. He doesn't do it by breaking tackles. Blocking's a 4. I kind of wish I would have done that higher because he blocks harder than a lot of 200-pound wide receivers. But at the same time, it's like swatting a fly. Like, he's a get-in-the-way kind of guy. It's just what he's going to be. Now, you look at the wide receiver depth chart. With him being a 4th-round pick, he's a lock. Ayuk a lock, unless he gets traded, but I don't think that's happening. Debo, Jennings, Pearsall, Cowing. Those are your 5. In the past, the 49ers have only kept 5. I think they'll keep 6 this year. That means one of the following: Danny Gray, Ronnie Bell, Chris Conley, Trent Taylor, Tay Martin, Tariq Owens. Now, maybe you sneak 1 or 2 in with the pup or whatever. And this is another thing. Jacob Cowing did not work out at mini camps in OTA. He did not. OTAs. Now, he was working out before, and he was working out after with Debo and a couple of the other wide receivers on the team. He hasn't practiced out there completely, but that doesn't mean we haven't had some time with him throwing and catching with Brock Purdy. So here's Brock Purdy talking about the new rookie wide receiver, Jacob Cowing.
He's quick, he's twitchy, and just I'm impressed with just, the way he's acted and interacted with guys. Very smart, very respectful, and a guy that I could tell he's going to get after it in terms of knowing what his job is. And as a quarterback, I feel like, you're always looking for a guy that you can trust. And so, I've seen that so far from him. I'm excited to see what he can do just in terms of taking off top and running downfield and everything once we get to it. So I'm really excited to have him.
The only real burner on the team was Danny Gray, and he's got 1 catch in 2 years, not great. Jacob Cowing offers, he doesn't have the same build. He's not 6 foot plus, but he's got the 4.3 speed that Danny Gray has. So now you've got that take off the top. Hopefully Ricky Pearsall can do that as well. That's not really his skill set, taking the top off. He's a 4.4 guy, which means he probably could, but he's more of a horizontal chain mover type guy. Jacob Cowing could be that dude that stretches the field vertically, and you have to respect it just because 4.3 speed is uncoachable. It changes. You see that dude out there, and you're a safety or a corner, and you're just like, uh-oh, let's back up a little bit. Mighty Mouse coming through. And I think that type of impact, I don't think he's going to have a lot of stats this year. I hope he's out there as a kick returner early on. I don't want a punt returner, but a kick returner I do. I don't want rookies ever returning punts. Ever, ever, ever. Kick return, no problem. It's easier to fill the ball off a tee. But I don't think his stats are going to be huge this rookie year. He comes at 41 for us on the countdown, but he can make such a big impact just whenever he's out there. Because you're not running, cover 1 man with Jacob Cowing on the field. You're running cover 2, cover 3, quarters, cover 6. you need somebody over the top. You got to have somebody over the top. If not, Brock Purdy to Jacob Cowing will be a huge home run, whether this year, 2025 or beyond. But for us, this countdown's all about 2024. And, people get hurt. He's going to be worked into the rotation, probably not early, especially one of the things I do care most about, Jacob Cowing better be practicing day one of training camp. I do not want to see him out there anymore watching practice, rehabbing on the side. You got to get your reps in early. Otherwise, he's going to fall behind the 8 ball and allow guys like Danny Gray, Ronnie Bell, Chris Conley, Trent Taylor, these guys, Tate Martin, to take his snaps. You better fight for those snaps. You're a 4th-round rookie. You have precedent. Get in there, earn it, and earn more. Glad this dude's on our team. Excited to see what he's going to bring to us. And for us, we'll just keep counting him down.